Canyon. I'm here to talk about solar today, and there's a lot of unknowns, I realize, when you talk about solar. Solar is an expensive process. It's a time-consuming process. It takes from when a customer decides to sign a contract to they actually get solar installed on the house, actually operating when the utility company comes out and puts in a separate meter for them. It can be as much as 2 months. So it's a long process. Most people are scared because they hear of these $50,000, $60,000 solar jobs, when reality is that we can do a very small solar job that can cost under $10,000. So that's cheaper than a heat and air job, right, John? I mean, his average heat and air job is what, 11,000? So there you have it. The good thing about solar is that the panels, the inverters today are guaranteed or warranted for 25 years. So you're looking at a system that has a very long term, and a lot of people look at that as a negative as well, because well, how do I know if I'm even going to be in this house in the next 25 years? So that's kind of a down thing to it. The other thing about solar is that if you don't have a full monitoring system, you don't even know if the thing's working or not. It may be up there on your roof, sun shining, may not even get any production out of it. So monitoring is extremely important. And anybody who sells you a system that doesn't have monitoring, shame on them, because how do you even know if it's working? If it's not working, you're flushing money down the toilet. So a real positive thing with solar is the tax credit. And the tax credit is good through, you probably heard the advertisements, hurry and call us in December because the tax credits are going away. Well, that's really not true, because the tax credits are here through 2016. So scare tactics out there, which is not unusual in the advertising industry anyway. 30% tax credit of the full cost of the system is what you get with a solar system. 30%. That's a huge tax credit, isn't that right, Mr. Sear? Okay. Again, solar can be expensive. They have financing available, and through your local politicians, they have actually passed a law that says that if you do energy efficient upgrades to your home, that you can actually finance them on the property, on the county tax records, on your parcel number. That's where the financing is. It doesn't affect your credit rating, and it stays with that particular property. So if you move in 10 years, the loan stays with the property, doesn't go with you, okay? So you have some advantages there. Now, I worked up an example of a real customer that I'm going to be doing a job for up in Rockland, and she had several different estimates, and she knew exactly what she wanted, which is kind of unusual because most people don't. But she wanted a 5 kilowatt system, which consists of 19 panels, and it's actually 5.225 or 5,225 kilowatts or watts, I should say. The total cost for that system installed with the full permits, the labor to install, the full monitoring, and of course the 25-year warranty is $22,729. Big money. The tax credit's $6,819, which nets her out at $15,910. That's what she's going to have to pay out of pocket, basically. Her system will produce 8,002 kilowatt hours in a year. Now, this is extremely important. Most solar companies will give you an estimate of your production via a computer. They'll do a screenshot of an ideal location, and they'll say, this is what your system will produce, which is totally bogus, because if the panels are actually on your home, you may have shade trees, you may have telephone poles across the street that can block those panels, or at least part of them. Some solar systems have what we call micro inverters on them, which is what we use. where each panel has its own power source or inverter. Some solar systems that are a lot cheaper, they use what's called a string inverter, which you tie all those 19 panels together and you have a single inverter. Well, if you get shading over roughly 40% of those panels, it knocks out the whole array and you get no production at all. So the microinverters are a much more efficient way to go because you get better production. Now, the key to finding out the production is doing this analysis, which consists of a fisheye camera, which I take up on the roof, the actual location. I usually will go 4 points of my 4 corners of my panels where they're going to be located. I take 4 pictures, I average them out. This particular one, I only needed to do 2 pictures, and you'll see the pictures in here. I'm going to pass this around, but you'll see the pictures in here, and you also see the production by month. Okay, that's the way if you're going to get a proposal, that's what you should be looking at. Make sure that you're getting the actual results for your home. Then you know exactly what it's going to be producing on an annual basis. All right, so getting back to this cost, again, we're going to produce 8,002 kilowatt hours in a year's time. And if you live in the SMUD area, you have a 2-tiered system. If you live in the PG&E area, you have a 4-tiered system. You got to look at what you're paying on electricity. Thank you. In SMUD, your first tier is about 10 cents. Your second tier is about 18 cents. So if I take and I get this customer out of the second tier, which is 18 cents, that's about an 11.04 year payback for that 25-year system. That's how quickly it'll pay back for itself. In SMUD, in PG&E, if you look at a 4-tiered system and a customer is using up into the 4th tier, their rate is about 34 cents a kilowatt hour, which puts it down to 5.84 years payback. That's assuming there's no increases between now and either 5.84 years or 11.04 years. Okay? So you got to take that in consideration as well. All right. So that's solar in a nutshell. Does anybody have questions? Yes.
What about the roof? Is there any danger to roofs putting that stuff up?
Good question.
You know, whenever walking on a roof, it's a danger to a roof. Okay. But the thing about the solar system is that you're really probably more protecting that roof than you are harming that roof because you're covering it up. That roof underneath those solar panels are actually going to last longer. Tom.
We make it a real point to cover those completely with plastic whenever we're painting, even down on walls below, not to get anything on top of the panels. And when I power wash a house, we lightly power wash their panels too.
That's awesome.
Just like a light rain, you know. Thank you.
How often do you need to maintain them, actually go up and wash them?
It's recommended twice a year. And what we try to do is we try to tie it in with your maintenance on your heating and air conditioning, where our guy will come out, he'll maintain your unit, he'll also watch the panels at the same time, so that's kind of a nice deal. Mark?
What's that use, kind of like a new SMUD rate or tier they're putting in, like peak hours or what?
Time of use. Time of use.
Really?
That's a whole nother speech, okay? Yes?
From the time you go out and meet with the client, how long does it take you to install them?
Like I said, it can take up to 2 months before it's actually operating and working. Scott?
Can you do commercial as well?
Oh, yeah. John?
Do they make a system yet that will like store power, like put it in batteries and so that you can use them?
You can certainly do that. The negative side to using batteries as a backup is that you do not get the 30% tax credit. So my recommendation is put in a system, get your 30% tax credit, then add the batteries later. Thank you.